Hello my dear friends, you're on the Military Summary channel, and today we will discuss situation in Ukraine on the 1st of July. Today I decided to prepare my video a little bit earlier. This evening of local time I will be busy, so let's discuss the updates for like 2 p.m. of local time. Maybe at the very night I will record another video for updates for day, some shorts about the current situation and so on. Also, would like to remind you that tomorrow at 7 p.m. at GMT +3, there going to be a live event. On this live event, we are going to discuss the further plans of the Russians in this military special operation, and to be more precise, we're going to discuss Kharkiv and what the Russians are planning to do with Kharkiv and with the rest of Ukraine. So let's start with Kharkiv area. Kharkiv area is under very heavy shelling. The Russians are moving in two directions in this area. First, they're moving from the north, from Kazachia, Lopan, towards Slatiny, Dergachi, towards Kharkiv. Of course, they're not somewhere in Dergachi, they're just in town Shapovilovka. Furthermore, the Russians took control over Dementivka. This map is not updated, but this town is already under the Russians. There was a lot of confirmation from the Russian side. And another way they're moving is on the east side of this area. So they're moving in direction towards Stary Saltov, and then they will turn to Chuguev in this direction. So they're moving in two directions. I haven't heard any updates if the Russians are moving towards Ruski Tishki, Cherkasky Tishki, and so on. I can't say that it's like full power offensive operation, because there are not much of the Russians, also there are not much of the Ukrainians, so they're fighting here with the forces they have, like around 7 BTG maybe from both sides, but because of the fact that the Ukrainians less equipped and they have some lack of artillery, so this is the reason why they are forced to retreat from this position. If we discuss the situation between Stary Saltov and till Izum bridgehead, there is no changes on this area. There were some days, a few days ago, that the Russians were trying to take the Liman, but today there is no update from this area. As I understand, everybody on the Russian front line is concentrated on Lysychansk agglomeration and on the Bakhmut as well. There are very heavy clashes in Izum bridgehead from Dibrovno towards Krasnopolye. You see this territory is marked with rockets, with missiles. So the Russians are shelling and trying to push in this area. Furthermore, we know that this map is not updated because the area from Tatianovka towards Sidorova, this corner is already under the Russians, and Ukrainian forces in this morning military report announced that the Russians started their movement in this area. So they're moving towards Mayaki. I think that as soon as Lysychansk falls, we're going to see the full-powered offensive operation from Svyatogorsk, from this bridgehead towards Slaviansk. Slaviansk is under heavy shelling. The Russians are shelling some ammunition store and so on. Now let's discuss our Lysychansk agglomeration. If you take a look at this map, you see that this map is not updated. According to the West sources, we see that the West sources still considers that Ukrainians controls Privolye, that Ukrainians controls Maloryazantsev, Ovcharovka, that Ukrainians controls Lysychansk coal refinery, Verkhnykamenka, Topolovka, Zolotarivka. So this picture is pretty beautiful because this configuration allows the Ukrainians to hold this area for a very long time, because according to this configuration we see that there are still a road between Siversk and this area, not just one road, it's like a very big road, railroad, and furthermore there are a lot of local roads of different types and with nice quality and low quality. Also, we saw the video, for example, my Telegram channel, like when the Ukrainians using the fields were trying to evacuate from some encirclement. So that's why I can say that there are, according to this configuration, there are still a lot of ways how to retreat and how to save your lives. But if we take a look at the Russian sources map, you're going to see that the picture here is much worse. You see there are a lot of icons, like first of all, like a lot of icons with Russian flag, some arrow flag, some fire flag, a lot of Russian flag, a lot of stars, a lot of these blocks. That means that the Russians are pushing heavily and they control almost entire Lysychansk. Furthermore,
just an hour ago, I received report from some military authorities from LPR. Sometimes I give you his words in my videos. So this guy an hour ago told us that the Russians encircle Lysychansk not just with the fire control but also physically. So we can say that this area is already cut into pieces, like the Lysychansk part, the area that from this icon, like physical blockade, you see this icon. This territory is split in two parts. The one that on the right side is Lysychansk, Novodruzhsk, headquarters in Novodruzhsk, and the part that on the left side it's Belogorovka, Grigorievka, Verkhnyokamyanska, this area and this mine. So this area is already split in two parts. Today there was a report from Russian military authorities, and they confirmed from their side that the Russians totally cleared Verkhnyokamyansk. They took Topolovka. They took this mine Matroskaya, it has name. They took this gelatin plant. So they took Privolye, you see that, but this map is not updated yet. Maybe the Ukrainians still have some possibility to move there, but there are also an icon of promotion, like moving towards the Ukrainian headquarters and so on. So we can say that Lysychansk is already encircled. Furthermore, more and more sources are saying that the Ukrainians, a few days ago, they bring towards Siversk a very big number of soldiers, around 20,000. I'm not talking about that they're exactly in Siversk. Of course, if they were in Siversk, they would be bombed heavily. So that's why their forces is split between Belogorovka, Grigorievka, Serebryanka, Siversk, Ivanodarivka, Verkhnyokamyanska, Zvanovka, Svetopokrovska. These blue things, that means trenches. So there is now even the meter. I think that we can say that there is a 5 Ukrainian per 1 square meter in this area. A lot of them, and they're preparing themselves for counter-offensive operation towards Verkhnyokamyanska, Zolotarivka, because they want to allow Ukrainian forces who is blocked in Lysychansk to retreat. I'm not sure if it's a very good idea, because it's not just enough to do some counter-offensive operation from Siversk towards Zolotarivka. First of all, you need to keep this area, and you need to keep this area at least a few days, at least one day. If Ukrainians are able to hold some forces to keep some territory, I'm not sure about this. I really don't know. I'm not sure about this. Now let's take a look at this map. I have already updated this map to show you the better configuration of the front line. So now you see that the current picture, the only difference with the Russian sources map is that I haven't marked this gelatin plant as the Russian territory, because right before the video it wasn't like this. So we can say that this oil territory is also under the Russian control. So this is the front line, and this is the disaster situation for the Ukrainians in this area. Furthermore, as you can see, the Russians took control over Zolotarivka. You see this small town, Verkhnyokamyanka, and we see that the Russians from the north, they managed to cut with fire control, you can say, establish fire control over this road. This road connects Shipilovka and Novodruzhsk, and as I know, there are a lot of forces, not a lot of, there are some forces in Novodruzhsk who are standing here and trying to protect this road, this local road, by establishing some fire control over the Russian territory here, because this road is vital for the Ukrainians. Using these local roads, this area, the Ukrainians are using to do step-by-step retreat from Novodruzhsk, from Lysychansk. So that's why this area is one of the most important key region for the Ukrainians. So they have some force in Shipilovka, and the Ukrainians have some forces in Novodruzhsk, and the only thing they are doing right now is trying to fix the Russians in Privilye. I can't tell you if they're doing their job successfully. I can say that they lost Privilye. Maybe they will win some time, gain some time. So we'll see. Now, if we're talking about Malorizantsevo, about this area, I understand that the Russians has already fixed the soldiers in this area, and I'm sure for 100% that the force that located in this area, Ukraine, are no longer able to evacuate. If we're talking about Lysychansk, yes, they still have the biggest chances for evacuation has the Ukrainian force that located between Shipilovka, Novodruzhsk and this part of Lysychansk. These guys who is here still have possibility to retreat. Those one who is in Lysychansk has every second, every minute, there has less and less chances for evacuation from this area, because the most important that this morning we got report that Zolotorivka has fallen. That means that the Russians established control, let's say like 3 kilometers over these small local roads with bad quality. So the situation now is that the Ukrainians still have just one road from Bilogorovka towards Grigorievka. This is the only one road that Ukrainians can use, and I can say that they can use it. We can say that using this road, the Ukrainians are going to hit less losses than any other way. But the losses in this area are still very high. If we take a look at this map, we can say that the Ukrainians using this area, it's like open field, and Grigorievka is also a very small village. So there is no places where they can hide, or they're just running. And I think that they're running with different groups, with different number of groups and so on. So we see what's going to be next in this area as well. Furthermore, let's return a little bit to this situation. Another important updates about Ivano-Darivka, Spirny and Berestova. Because of that fact that the Russians, if you take a look at this map, come very close to Spirny or Sporny, they destroyed like warehouses with ammunition here. If we're talking about Ivano-Darivka, they destroyed some command center, local command center of these forces. And now the Russians, furthermore, the Russians passed the most fortified positions. You see these trenches. So these trenches are on the Russians. During those 2 days they were fighting here, trying to establish control over these trenches. So now they are fighting with Spirny, and as soon as Sporny or Spirny falls, the Russians will be able to attack Berestova from the back. Berestova is a very important area, because using Berestova, the Russians are able, and I'm sure that they're going to do, they will try to attack Zvanovka, like from this, they will attack Siversk from the south. So Berestova is very important. There is a road with this area, so they need Berestova, they need Sporny. So now the Russians have few directions of their attack. First one, they're trying to fix and encircle the force in Lysychansk as much as possible. Another way, they're moving towards Verkhnykhamyansk. There is already very heavy clashes there. Also, they're moving towards Sporny, Ivano-Darivka and Bilogorovka, Berestova in this area. So they're trying to push the Ukrainians and trying to fix them and trying not to allow them to help forces that stuck in Lysychansk with their evacuation. If we're talking about this area, there also was one important report from this area that Ukrainians are expecting, and of course they have some eyes, some position in this forest, and the Ukrainians are expecting that the Russians in the very near future, maybe even today or maybe this night, or maybe they have already done this, the Russians will try to cross Seversky Donetsk one more time in the area near Grigorievka. So the Russians will try, according to the Ukrainians military authorities report and specialists, they think that the Russians are planning to attack Grigorievka. With this, we can say that the Lysychansk agglomeration is encircled, and we're gonna see the real cauldron without any way to evacuate or escape this area. So we'll follow. Maybe by this evening this situation will happen, and I will do another report at the night. And we're going to discuss the Grigorievka because it's very important. So let's discuss now Ukrainians. The Ukrainians have a lot of forces in Serbianka. There are a lot of forces there. They have forces in Siversk. They have forces in Verkhnykhamyansk. So they're trying to stop the Russians Ivano-Darivka. So you see that they're trying, but it's not a very powerful fortified position, and I don't think that the Russians will have problems with at least these small towns. But of course, there were going to be very heavy clashes for Siversk. The difference, what is the difference between Siversk and any other type, any other town that the Russians were taking? First of all, I think that exactly in Siversk, we're gonna see the first example of extremely fast, extremely aggressive, extremely, I don't know what else to say, battle, close battle. The key word is close battle. And by the way, it's a very nice idea, because we saw that the Ukrainians are very bad in defense, because the only thing they can do is to reduce themselves by Russian shelling. So the Russians are shelling, the Ukrainians are losing their soldiers, their position, and then they retreat. So there is no point of this. But if, and the thing is that if you're talking about the Russians, they don't have stable positions in this Lysychansk area. What is in a stable position? They don't have trenches, they don't have like buildings where they can hide. They don't know this area because they're new to this area. They are here in Zolotorivka, Lysychansk just for a few days, so they're not familiar with the place and so on. And it's very good idea, nice time for the Ukrainians to start their fast offensive operation, and with one purpose: to reduce the distance between armies. And we can say like something, they can do something like medieval battle, when there was like knights fighting together on the battlefield. So close combat. I think that the Ukrainians are planning to do exactly like this. If they are able to reach the Russians and force them and involve them in close battle, maybe they have chances to win. Because there is, according to the current configuration of this conflict, I don't see any other configuration options for them to win. Just a close combat, like in medieval, fighting together, like tank by tank, trenches by trenches, soldiers by soldiers, and so on. So maybe we're gonna see like this. But the thing is that this is the current picture. But my projection in this situation is that the Ukrainians should be afraid of not like encircling of Grigorivka, not of encircling of Lysychansk, not of close combat with Siversk and the forced Ukrainians in Verkhnykamensk. We can say that this close combat might be somewhere around Verkhnykamensk. This is not the thing that is dangerous. It's regular thing that we used to see every day. The most dangerous thing for the Ukrainians is that the Russians might cross the river near Yampil towards Zakitne. This is one of the most dangerous situations for the forces located in Siversk. Furthermore, if we take a look at this Zakitne, this is a very nice position to cross. The river is not very far from each other, these banks. So that's why the Russians can cross, and this town is very close to Yampil, to this area. Furthermore, we have more and more updates from the Ukrainian Russian sources that exactly in this area from Shurova towards Azerna, there is a very high level of commandos battles. So the Ukrainians are sending some commando scouts, the Russians, so there are very heavy clashes there. So maybe the Russians are planning to fight away the Russian. And if you ask me, of course, this is the classic situation: try to cross river somewhere near Zakitne, Krivolovka, Platonovka, anywhere in this place, and to try to attack the Ukrainian forces in their back. It will be fantastic if they are able to do this. So we'll see, we'll follow, because if the Russians are going to do this, I think that maybe tomorrow or the day after is the best situation to do this. Now let's talk a little bit Bakhmut. As you can see, the Ukrainians has marked, the West source map has marked like blue guns. Like it's when it's in blue color, that means that the Ukrainians have some success. If you see like this AK-47 in red square, that means that the Russians are succeed. So as you can see, according to the West sources, the Russians managed to stop the Ukrainians managed to stop Russians near Klinovo. But if we talk about the Russian sources, they're saying that they managed to take at least a part or half of this town. So we can say that this town is in the gray zone. Furthermore, we see that the Ukrainians, according to the sources, managed to stop the Russians' storm attack towards Ugledarskaya power plant and towards Novoluganskaya. The only difference in these maps, like West sources and the Russian sources, is Dolomitna. According to this small area, according to the Russian sources, this area, this small town, is under the Russian control. So this is Dolomitna. So I think that in the very near future, we're gonna see the end of Lysychansk agglomeration battle. We're gonna see the end of battle for Lugansk, because this area is the last, is the final square kilometers that is still under Ukrainian control. And as soon as all this area falls, the Lugansk People Republic will receive every single square meter of the territory they supposed belongs to them. So this situation in Ukraine for 2 p.m. of local time. So thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, put your likes in. I remind you that Military Summary channel condemn any violence in Ukraine. Join my Patreon. Tomorrow will be very interesting, and have a good day. Bye bye.